There's a variety of different engines available for the new Tiguan. For instance, the diesel, all 2-liter 4-cylinder engines, and they deliver a power range between 122 up to 200 horsepower. There are 2 petrols available, both 1.5 liter, either 130 or 150 horsepower. Then there is a new one, it's called e-hybrid, which is nothing different than a plug-in hybrid, and there we talk about a system output of up to 245 horsepower. Very important here is that car is a combination out of a 1.4 liter petrol engine with a 85 kilowatt electric motor. And then there is the car we're driving, the Tiguan R, and that features a 2-liter turbo petrol engine, and the output here is 320 horsepower, 450 newton meters of maximum torque, and it's powered to all 4 wheels. A very important feature here with the Tiguan R is the new torque vectoring system, because that not only delivers the power to the front and the rear axle as needed, it also delivers or distributes the power between the right and the left rear wheel, and that gives you a lot more a lot easier cornering, which means when you drive, for instance, a left corner quick, the car will push more power to the right rear wheel, and so it really pushes you into that corner. What I really do like a lot are these new gear shift pedals here at the steering wheel, because these are not these small tiny things from the old Tiguan. They really tell you, yes, here we talk about sport. With 1.67 m, or as a 4Motion version 1.68 m in height, the Tiguan is as high as its predecessor, but there are some new things we're gonna find at the rear. So start with the light. The Tiguan features always LED taillights, but we do have the so-called IQ light on board, which means you do find this new signature here, which switches to here when you brake. And you may remember we saw that first time at the Volkswagen Passat, and that should attract people's eyes more to let them know you're braking. Another new thing is we have this R sign here. Normally there would be Tiguan. And I think this, together with the new Volkswagen logo, makes the rear of the car a bit more modern. To give our version, the R, a bit more sportiness, we do not only find this big roof spoiler here, we also find this glossy black diffuser. And important to know is the Tiguan R always comes with a 4-pipe exhaust system as standard, but ours is featuring the optional Akrapovic version, which makes the car even more sporty. With the boot, nothing really has changed. The Tiguan now offers 615 liters of maximum boot capacity with the rear seats up. If you fold the bench down, that increases to 1,655. What I really do like with it is this part here, because that's completely soft and easy, and this is because of this underfloor compartment here. You can access it like this, or you can just put that one down here, and then you have the maximum boot capacity. And by the way, the car can tow trailers up to a weight of 2.5 tons now. The clear competitor of the new Tiguan R is the group brother Cupra Ateca. With a starting price of around 44,000 euros, it is much cheaper than the Tiguan R, but it also only offers a maximum of 300 horsepower. In the segment of the sporty compact SUVs, you also find the Jaguar E-Pace P300. It offers 300 horsepower but costs at least just under 53,000 euros. The 306 horsepower strong Mercedes-AMG GLA 35 4MATIC is similarly expensive. The space the car offers here at the front really is absolutely nice. So even me, I'm nearly 2 meters tall, I do sit absolutely, easy inside of the car. You sit a bit more high and a bit more upright, but this is typical for an SUV. And I can tell you, even for my front passenger, it will be absolutely fine. How about the space behind me? And if I can sit behind myself, we're going to try while having a short stop. So, a short stop to see if I can sit behind me. I didn't change my position, and so, see, the door opens quite, good, and the entrance is a bit higher because we talk about an SUV, but let's see. So, entering is easy, and I do have about 5 centimeters head space left, and in front of my knees there's space as well. And to be honest, this is the standard Tiguan. The all space will follow later, so this is already very nice. The materials and craftsmanship of the Tiguan are typical Volkswagen. So you do find soft touch at the upper parts and you do find plastic at the lower parts. But when we talk about the R version we're driving, it's a bit, a higher class of luxury, would say, because we have these beautiful seats with its different colors. We do have this Alcantara here at the doors, And of course, we do find some glossy stuff at the steering wheel as well as at the center console. But as you know, you need to have a towel or cloth to clean them from time to time. An optional feature of the Tiguan is a head-up display, but unfortunately it's not a real one, because this is the one where just a screen pops out of your dashboard here, and it does not project the information to the front window. So for me, that's a feature which I would not order. The heart of our Tiguan R is a new 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine, and that delivers 235 kilowatts or 320 horsepower and a maximum of 420 newton meters of torque, and it's combined in that car with a 7-speed DSG gearbox, and that powers all the 4 wheels, and so that gives you some nice driving figures. For instance, the car is limited at 250 kilometers per hour top speed, and unfortunately Volkswagen didn't deliver any official consumption data, but I would say if you want to be on the safe side, calculate something between 8 up to 10 liters per 100 kilometer driven. Looking at the side of our test car, you instantly recognize this 21-inch alloys here. Important to know is the 21-inch are only an optional extra for the Tiguan R. If you talk about the normal Tiguan, that starts with 17-inch and you can order up to 20. And then, of course, at the side, nothing really has changed. The only thing is, if you find now this R badge here to know what car you're driving, we have, because of the R version, this caps here on the rearview mirrors, which looks a bit like alloy, and the same look is up here. And to give the car a bit more of a sporty look at the side, we have this side sails here, which, yeah, looks a bit more dynamic, a bit more aggressive. But overall, the car is 4.51 meters in length, which means it's a little bit longer than its predecessor, and that's only because of the new front and rear bumper. But to be really honest, the side is actually the same as with the predecessor. With 1.86 meters in width, the Tiguan is as wide as its predecessor, but there are still some changes with the facelift, so we're going to have to talk about. For instance, when you look at the hood, it's a bit more upright here at the front, and it's a bit higher than with the predecessor, and that shape here also has changed slightly. And together with the grille, the car now looks from the front a little bit more like its bigger brother Touareg. And important to note, the Tiguan now always comes with LED headlamps, but our car features the optional Matrix LED IQ light system, which means we talk about 24 single LEDs per headlamp. And when you look at the front of the car, it's the Tiguan R, which should look very sporty, and so you do find a big air intake down here, which I do like a lot. But when you look at the side, like here, I think this is a touch too much for a compact SUV. The Tiguan always comes with lane assist as well as with an emergency brake assist, including pedestrian recognition. But on top of this, you can of course configure loads and loads of extra driver assist and safety systems. And the list you see now is just to give you some examples of it. But on top of this, I think the most important one is the new so-called travel assist, because with that system, you can up to 210 kilometers per hour drive nearly autonomously with your Tiguan. Talking about practicability, of course, the Tiguan delivers loads and loads of compartments. So you do find nicely sized ones in the doors here at the front. You do find an extra one left under the steering wheel, and of course you have the center console where you do have 2 cup holders, adjustable armrest with another compartment beneath, and a big one here at the front, which also provides you with wireless charging, and very important, the Tiguan now offers wireless Apple CarPlay as well. Looking on the rear seats, you do find, of course, compartments in the doors and 2 extra cup holders in the armrest as well. One thing which is really new with the Tiguan, and of course with all the new Volkswagen models, is you will not find any knobs and buttons anymore in the car. So when you look here at the steering wheel, you do not find anything. You have touch sensors all the time, but you have some where you can slide and some where you can push. You do have the same here with the center screen, which is, by the way, between 6.5 up to 9.2 inch big, and it's always a touch screen, but you do not find any buttons here. And it's the same with the climate control. You can swipe if you want, but you can press as well. Both is working fine, but it's something you really have to get used to. But I think the most important thing is the R button on top of our steering wheel, because that will be the most pressed button for all the R drivers. And if you push that one, that car really tells you what it can deliver. By the way, the sound not only comes from this beautiful 2-liter turbo engine, it also comes from our optional Akrapovic exhaust system. Part of our interior trim level with the R is we do not only have the Digital Cockpit Pro and the R sports steering wheel, we also have, I think most important, this special sports seat with an integrated headrest, because they do not offer loads and loads of comfort, they also offer more than enough support, and I can tell you the headrest is, even for a person like me, absolutely fine.
The new Tiguan is available with a 130 horsepower petrol engine from around 28,200 euros in Germany. The next equipment level Live costs just under 1,800 euros more, but offers, for instance, the AirCare Climatronic and the automatic distance control ACC. In addition, Volkswagen also offers the version Elegance from 36,856 and the R-Line from 39,230 euros. No prices have yet been communicated for the new 320 horsepower top variant Tiguan R. However, an amount under 60,000 euros is expected.
That was my test drive in the brand new Volkswagen Tiguan, and what I really like is that car represents what its predecessor did already. So we do find loads and loads of space, nice materials, good craftsmanship, and everything you expect from a modern compact SUV. But the car is of course a bit more modern, so we do find new driver assistance safety systems, a completely new touch control system, a new steering wheel, and of course a new infotainment. And when we talk about modernization, look at the exterior. It's not so much what they did, but that changes the look and makes it even more fresh and more modern. But when I look at the front of our R model, I'm not a big fan of this super sportiness here. I think that's a touch too much for a standard compact SUV. But I think on the other hand, really good news is the price, because that car is in Germany about 2,000 euros cheaper than its predecessor.